For 10,000 years, the Emperor's Inquisition have fought a secret war to defend humanity. We keep vigil in the darkness. We hunt among the shadows. We pass judgment upon the mutant, the traitor, and the heretic. We purge the world of the taint lurking among the stars. We are Inquisitors. We shall fear nothing. For we are what you fear.
All right, that was a pretty sweet little intro, wasn't it? That's the new updated intro for Warhammer 40,000 Inquisitor Martyr. So in today's video, I want to kind of go through a level with you guys, kind of show off some of the updated graphics, the updated animations, the updated play style of Inquisitor Martyr. We did a video about this around, I think, October, November 2017. So today we'll go through, oh, what's this? What's this fun thing? We'll go through what has changed since then, how things are a little bit different, and what my impressions are of the game so far. So let's just start off right here in the nice little the hold of our lovely ship, our inquisitorial ship. So this is the new character, the Psyker, and I actually really enjoyed the Psyker. I think they're a lot of fun. Let me go ahead and there's this handy little button over here that shuts that off. There it is. That's one thing I kind of don't like, is that, because it just overlays over this and you have to like shut it off to talk to access it, and so it's kind of a pain in the ass. But we'll go over again here how this all works. It's very similar to what you expect with any kind of action RPG. Keep in mind, as a heads up, this is still in beta, so it's not completed, and even from our original October-November video, this is a huge improvement in gameplay and everything like that. So you have your two sets, and the nice thing about this game is it plays very differently. So you have your skills, and in any other action RPG, let's just say Diablo, we'll use that as our main, comparison point. You've got set skills for your character. In this game, you do have set skills, but you also have, you have set abilities that come from certain skills or weapons. But in this game, the way it works is, if we take a look at this, we see range, one-handed, overheat, gets hot. That's the plasma pistol. You see these four little boxes. Now those are all four of the skills that this weapon can use, and it depends on where this weapon is located depending on what skills are active. So if we take a look at our las pistol, we see we've got four abilities, but only the first two are active. And we see here with our force sword, we've got four abilities, but only the first two are active. So that means that this is going to be our left and right click, and then these two are going to be our 1 and 2. So it's really kind of a cool system that if you're using a force sword in any way, shape, or form, you're going to be using these two abilities. But if I want to use, say, this one, the Biomantic sword, I know that if I click this, it'll tell me the force smite is a small little AoE, a little cleave. It hits 3 or more enemies within 5 meters, whereas the force sword is just a straight up single target psi-enhanced melee strike. So it's really, really cool because you get to basically determine how you want to play your character. Do I want to use this force sword and build only force swords to have single target DPS really high, or do I want to be a little bit more of a AoE kind of a cleave character with this? But then again, you take a look at things like the plasma pistol, which is meant for breaking through armor. It even shows us here focus blast. It has armor piercing, assault, vulnerability, heat, demolisher, and single target. And then it shows us which each one of those abilities does on the right. So there's a lot of information in this game, and I mean, to the point almost where it just bogs you down, but I think it's all really, really well explained so far. There are some mechanics that could use a little bit better explaining, such as suppression. Suppression is kind of an interesting mechanic where the more you are suppressed, the slower your character moves, the less health recovers, and the less effect that stimulants have against them, and so on and so forth. So, but for the most part, things are pretty well described, at least for the weapons, as to what each thing does. You have your typical kind of variant here. You've got your common, your light, your rare, your master crafted, then your artificier, then lastly your relic. And these things are all basically varying levels of, you can think of it as white, green, blue, purple, then orange in a Diablo style. This isn't necessarily a I guess this is more like a unique, like you could think of in Diablo, not necessarily like a set item, but each critical hit inflicts shock on the target. That's unique to this force sword. And of course, you press tab and it swaps back and forth. Now this is a two-handed weapon, so I get access to all 4 abilities. And the cool thing about the Psyker is you get this little Psychic focus, which basically gives them another ability on their taskbar. Now, skills are a pretty interesting thing here. This is the same way that has always kind of been in the game, but it's a little bit more fleshed out. When you create a character, you have a choice between one of 3 variations of a character. You can choose your Crusader, your Assassin, or a Psyker. And each one has got, I think it might show me on here. So I chose Ether Walker, whatever one you want to call it. And that just basically means that it unlocks certain ones of these out the gate. So as an Ether Walker, I have Close Combat, Psychic Debuffs, and Psychic Combat. If I were to choose one of the other ones, it might just be just these 2. So it basically dictates which one of these are unlocked from the start, but you can unlock these no matter what. See, open 100 supply boxes to unlock this. Do a total of 1 million damage to unlock criticals. So these are not gated for you for every other character. It just means you get access to them immediately versus having to wait until you unlock them through whatever the necessary action is. Now, if you take a look at Heroic Deeds, this is pretty cool. They've really fleshed this out. This was kind of in the original build that we played back in October, but this is now has rewards for it. So if you do any one of these really cool Heroic Deeds, as you can see, there's quite a few of them, rewards Scion Sniper Training Skill Branch. So, where is that? I think it's like range combat or something like that. Yeah, Scion Sniper Training. So if I were to do this, do a total of 500,000 damage with range skills. Once I do that, it unlocks this skill tree. But also you can have stuff that says, okay, this gives you a perk. And these perks, sorry for jumping around so much here, are right here. You can think of these as the passives in Diablo 3. You unlock them as you level up, and they give you certain benefits. For instance, 10% damage for every buff effect on the character, 25% range damage against targets within the medium range, stuff like that. Really kind of, you can cater this to how you want to play, just like the passive buffs for Diablo 3. There's just quite a few of them as well. And I actually really like them. They're very flavorful. Above 50% health, you suffer 20% more damage. Below, you suffer 40% less. So it's kind of a really cool, how do I balance that edge? So I really enjoy that. Can't suffer more damage than 30% of your max HP from a single hit. So you see there's a lot of really cool abilities as you get further and further down this list. And I haven't unlocked Morality, but that unlocks these 2 things here. You know, Puritan Path and then the Radical Path, which is kind of cool, right? And then you've got Progression. This is a cool bar that they've just added too. This gives you an idea of what it's like to progress all the way up to level 50, what perks get unlocked, how many skill points you get, so you can kind of plan things out here. I know that when I unlock level 5, I'll get the Psyker spell Bio Lightning, which is pretty cool. Taking a look here real fast, I haven't unlocked this. This is like to control your retinue, but you've got your star map, your stores a little bit more overhaul, a little bit cleaner. One of the nice things here is immediate crafting. That's nifty. The crafting is in the game. I haven't unlocked it in this build yet. They did a full wipe, which sucks. We've got the storage thing as always, and then you've got this cool thing, Psychic Powers. So I can socket into my Psychic Powers certain things that I want to have done. So this increases skill effectiveness. There we go. These are all the abilities that are going to be used with the item sets that I have currently on. I can actually swap these out too. So you've got some really cool abilities here that I really enjoy. Like this one's pretty sick. 100% damage reduction bonus for 60 seconds. Each hit suffered reduces the duration by 5 seconds and generates 2 Warp Heat. And we'll go into Warp Heat in a second here. But overall, I think the game has been very nicely overhauled. It makes sense. That's the big thing is, like, when I play everything through the game, I'm not like, what in the fuck is going on? Everything has got a really nice touch to it. They've actually added the campaign into the game. You start off with a 4-5 mission, little kind of intro campaign. Let's actually jump here to the journal. In chapter 1, you basically unlock these little clues. And these clues add a really cool little spice to the game. They allow you to really get a good idea for things from a lore perspective. If you're into the lore, this is going to be amazing for you. If you're not into the lore, you could just press escape to just click through any of this stuff. Like, you'll get this. Okay, now, if you don't care about the lore, you just press that button. Boom, you're done and over with it. But this gives you a really cool idea of what the hell is going on in this game. You get really cool audio logs. that sometimes play. You can see basically like you get like little teasers of what. Yeah, this one. Now that appeared before I even actually saw that part in the game, so I didn't know what the hell that was. I mean, obviously I know what a Hellbrute is, but I didn't know, okay, is that a boss? What is that going to be? And that ended up being the boss of the chapter. So you have really cool ways that you can take a look at things here and there. All the audio logs that play while you're in the middle of a campaign will be saved here for you and stuff like that. So if you miss anything, you can play through it. So this is a really great way to keep track of what each and everything is, and it gives you a really good way to just read the narrative, get a little quick summary to give you guys an idea of what's going on in the actual campaign so far. You discover this ship, and I actually don't know what it says. Fortress Monastery, but I don't remember what class of ship. See, it says right here, Fortress Monastery Martyr. Now, individual that once fell under inquisitorial jurisdiction. So basically, you're trying to find this ship after, because you found it in chapter 1, and everything inside of it pretty much awoke. Think like that movie Event Horizon, or not Event Horizon. Yeah, no, Event Horizon, the scary ass movie, and it shoots itself into the warp. So you're pretty much with this this space marine who found it to begin with, and he's going to help you find it again once you find a way to heal him. His name's Caius Thorn of the Storm something, Storm Wing, Adeptus Mechanicus. Well, he's a space marine who tries to help. Who's going to help you kind of find this thing. That's where we're at right now, saving Caius Thorn. So we have to basically find the Magos Biologist, who's basically the head of an Adeptus Mechanicus, so he can help pretty much repair Thorn, who's got just completely decimated by the Hellbrute. So let's find. I don't really remember or know how. We pretty much just choose some stuff here. These numbers correspond to our current power level, so 162 and 161 is a little bit higher for us. Nurgle Demons, and Plague Vanguard. This gives you an idea of what you're going to be facing. Plague Vanguard, Chaos. You know what? Let's roll the dice. We'll do Panic Room Small. We'll travel to the system. And they actually have added voice acting into the game. They've added a narrative that you can actually follow again. And overall, I think it's a lot more polished. So that's a little bit nicer. So you get a good idea of what the map looks like, your objectives, reach the VIP before it's too late, take the VIP to the extraction point. Let's go ahead and start that. And these missions will recycle every couple of hours or every couple of days, depending on what they are. So that way you have a constant variance that you can kind of deal with. You're not always sucked into the same ones over and over and over. Okay.
Tactical noospheric network online. Target has been barricaded behind a security door to avoid immediate extermination by hostiles. The door will be breached within a few Terran minutes. Violent intervention required to retrieve the subject alive.
And as you can see, that... Oh, no! That wasn't in the game to start off with. These little things. It was just like a really bland, like, you didn't know what the hell was going on. So you're like, what, I don't, sure, what does that mean? What does all what you said just mean to me? Oh, so we're fighting the word bearers. So you're pretty much, I apologize for the keyboard smashing, but I want to win. You pretty much, with this character, I have the ability to kind of teleport around because of his armor. I have to be careful though, because as you see this gauge right here, it's called Warp Heat. That'll accumulate as I use abilities, as I use my level number 4 here, ethereal phasing. As this increases, warp anomalies will pop out and hurt me and stuff like that. So you have to kind of manage that warp heat, because these abilities, see, 10 per use, 13 per use, but these abilities will actually reduce my warp heat. So I have to kind of counter that. Oh, you're always kind of walking a blade with a Psyker, which is very fun. I enjoy it a little bit more, I guess, involved than say a Crusader who just wants to get up close and personal and kick some ass, which also I'm all down for. We'll use that, we'll use this. He's buffed me. As you can see, I mean, the Psyker is not that weak, but I gotta know when to back out, like that. Basically get a little range going here. This is my heat thing. I have to worry about that as since I'm using las and not like an auto pistol. Auto pistol would use ammo, which is kind of cool. Oof. Press this button, get some health. I'm actually going to swap here to my focus staff. I like the focus staff a lot, actually. I have to wait. Unfortunately, every time you tab and switch, you have to wait till your abilities to cycle. And that can be kind of actually tedious here. I can see this is a Havoc, so he's got a heavy weapon. Does a lot of damage. Heavy flamer in this case. Oh, die, 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 die. The Psyker, when his abilities are on cooldown right now, because I just switched, is a little bland, I will admit. Like right now I'm just pressing left click. This is kind of boring because all my abilities are still on recycle. They're outside of their normal recycle. You suffer a penalty for switching in the middle of combat, so you kind of have to know before you go into a room what you want to use. And as a whole, this is probably a really good weapon just to use. Like, see, boom. Okay, this shield is going to rip stuff up. And I'll pop my damage shield. Now I'll just absorb damage. I should probably not stand on that giant pylon of doom. Oh my god. I'm just getting worked. As you can see on the right there, I'm doing 5% less damage and taking about 6% more damage. So anytime you do these harder missions, you do have to deal with those penalties, those plus minus bonuses and such. Okay, let's get up in that face. Oh no! This shield does a lot of damage if you can kind of use it right. Nice thing about this ability is it actually can jump behind things, pivot the camera. It'll actually like do 50% of the damage will go straight through shields, which is that bottom bar whenever we take a look at that character. There we go. See, now you can see the screen is starting to get more purple because my heat gauge was really high. There we go. Taking her out. Oh. When your heat gauge gets really high, again, you get these really crazy warp anomalies that pop out of nowhere and just kind of wreck you. Uh-oh. I'm going to try to jump behind cover here. Oh. They can summon up mines like that, so it's kind of crazy.
For the Emperor!
For the Emperor! Again, this isn't beta, so if you notice any kind of weird quirky glitches and such, that's just going to happen. We should probably switch here. Okay. Oh, right into that mine.
Kill the heretic!
Alright, and as soon as they summon in, I'm going to teleport out. And we'll do this, and this. So you can see my heat is really high right now. But I'm shooting super fast. Oh no! And I'm all out of med stuff, so I'm probably going to die here. Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. Oh, okay. No problem. You have 3 chances. You pretty much have 3 lives. And these missions are pretty challenging, so... Well, especially when you kind of up the difficulty like that. These guys will recover a little bit. Pretty much using cover to your advantage is really huge, especially when you're against these villain. Like, villain is basically above a champion. There's different variants depending on, you know, what they are, what their classification is. So if I use the first ability, I think it's called Bless, I'll attack much faster, but I'm kind of cheesing this a little bit here to get the win. And the AI is still a little clunky, but it's a lot better than it was. Oh, in fact, it teleports. Holy shit.
Death is a journey.
Oh, man. So, let's keep trudging on here. So we'll take, I should probably show you these abilities. So Endurance basically makes, grants plus 15% damage reduction to the caster for 30 seconds. And Warp Speed, plus 25% damage and minus 25% cooldown to all weapon attacks for 30 seconds. So I basically just kind of turned into a damage powerhouse, just shooting out like wild. For the most part though, things die pretty quickly to my just basic attack. You can see here the fiery form, though this is probably one of my favorite ones. Creates a fiery aura around the character for 10 seconds that deals continuous heat damage to enemies it touches. It also provides 15% damage reduction, plus 50% damage to heat attacks, and plus 20% damage to other attacks. So, pretty awesome little benefit right there.
Death is a journey.
The assassin's a little bit more of a glass cannon, like they just jump around and do crap tons of damage, but they can get hit pretty hard in large spurts. You kind of have to be very tactical with them. A little bit more of an advanced class. I think the Psyker actually is, I was expecting the Psyker to be more of a caster and a little more papery, but actually pretty strong. The Crusader obviously is going to be super tanky because it's wearing power armor, but you can get away with pretty much playing this game however you want, and it rewards you and punishes you depending on that playstyle, which I think is really cool. Let's actually go over here because this is medical supply drop. You can see, I can see it on the map. And I kind of like the UI. It needs a little refining, but I think for the most part, it's pretty... Burn, heretic! Yes, yes. I think for the most part, it's pretty cool and pretty minimalistic. There are obviously some things that could be fixed about it, but I could press this button. I don't need to see the map anymore. This is pretty low-key, I like that. This is pretty minimal. This is pretty huge. I don't like that. I wish that this was like, I could click this to the side. Like, I don't need to see this the entire time. And it says, like, reach it before it's too late. What is too late? Is there a timer I don't know about? Oh, look at you. So let's do this. We'll pop our abilities here. Really go hog wild on this guy. Bring him down fast. Pop our damage shield too.
For the Emperor.
We'll get up close and personal with this guy. You see that thing behind me? I think that's actually a warp anomaly. I don't think someone summoned that. Yeah, that's a warp anomaly created by my heat. You pretty much just have to dodge those. So what it does is it summons little effects that would be spells from other casters that would hurt you. So you kind of have to, it adds another element of constantly dodging. Think of like the charge lightning or like the other enchant that summons those little like lightning pillars from Diablo that just hurt the crap out of you. I'm gonna get close and kill these guys where the thing wears off. Going here, shooting these word bearer marines up. Got our damage boost up again. We can go to town on this guy. Oh no! See that screen's going crazy again? The upper left corners and such, you're getting those little lightning swirls. That's all because of the warp, the perils of the warp. Which is a really cool way, I think, to do that, since it's such a huge part of the actual tabletop. Sorry about that. Just grabbing my charger from my headset here. But it's cool because it's such a huge part of the tabletop, because if you don't kind of pay heed to those perils of the warp, you can actually get in a lot of trouble when you're playing on the tabletop with any of your psychers. So I like how it's kind of, it's included in not a super intrusive way, but it's in a very kind of fun, flavorful way, which I'm all for. You guys know how I like that flavor. Oh, Jesus! Oh. He's got a power maul and he wants to go to town on me. Let's go with him first. So you can see, like, when my buffs are up, I'm just a monster. When they're down, I'm a little bit kind of bland. So you do have to kind of, again, you got to balance stuff here. This supply doesn't do anything for me because my focus would take what would be a grenade slot. So it gives me this ability to, it gives me the chance to use another ability. I like the ability to kind of be able to teleport around. Oh man, I'm in a pinch, I'm in a bind. Oh, I'm out of there. Get behind people in cover just like this. Or like this. And just do tons and tons of damage.
Objective met.
Honestly, I think that like Fire Form is probably the strongest ability I've seen in the game so far. It just does so much damage and it scales so well with you. I've played with other Psychers and they're like, yeah, dude, Fire Form's the way to go. Ready to fight. Like, I like using the sword and my other little rod, but Fire Form, man, just rocketing. Have these cool guardsmen who look really rad. Oh, what's this little thing? Not useful if you don't stand in it. There could be more goodies over here, but for the sake of this video and just kind of showing you guys the goods, I'm gonna just kind of roll forward here. Oh, see, that was summoned again. That should come after me. Well, who knows, because I'm kind of like standing in the way of it. That actually might have been summoned by, yeah, that was summoned by our guardsman, so that's kind of cool. This, though, that little bomb is not. Yeah, see, it just did some damage to me. Oh, it healed me, actually. Interesting.
Witness the glory of the Emperor.
I actually really enjoy using the dual weapons for the Crusader. Like, even the Crusader is kind of like, you know, it's a space marine. You want to get in combat and all that action. I really have a lot of fun using that character that is like just in cover, constantly shooting. I think this is where we gotta go. Get out of here! Cool. Easy. And these are a little buggy and glitchy still. Sometimes they'll kind of twitch out a little bit. Sometimes they won't match up voice sync wise. But again, still in beta. It's way better than it was at the, what, 8 months ago? I should just not attack and let you guys really see how crazy the warp can get. Like, it can really go crazy. Like, I had it all the way up and it was just spawning a whole bunch of crap around me. So, inductor refills. This might have a cool little chest in here. So, yeah, this is Wordbearer's Champion. Oh, a Hellbrute. So, once this thing's up, I'll just be able to really melt everything down, but we'll have some fun. Oh! I mean, oh! Ooh! Oh.
Witness my power.
Like, I installed the thing for this yesterday. Reinstalled it, I guess. And, oh shit! I was pretty impressed by just how much fun I was having. Like, I expected it to be a little bit more like the same thing where I was like, ah, okay, I guess I still got a long way to go. Because I'm very hopeful for this. I think it's like a really perfect arena. It plays a lot more like a Dark Heresy RPG where you're not like a space marine who's just like forearm grasping his way to victory. He actually kind of is struggling uphill here, and I really enjoy just thematically the game. So I get behind it a little bit easier, and it gets a pass from me for stuff I think that might not get a pass from most people. We're waiting here till all of our abilities up so we can just kind of jump in on this guy. Alright, so this is up, this is up, this is up, and this is up.
Fight fire with fire.
So we're just shooting super fast. We're tanking all this damage. Shooting. Loving it. Uh-oh.
I slay in thy name.
Yes, Emperor. Ooh, what's that? That looks cool. So we'll go ahead and exit here. Use our teleport homing beacon to get up out this piece. And if you guys remember, this hasn't changed much from the first one. Same, we can see what we gathered during the mission, any kind of materials, our rank, any kind of fate bonus that we got from that. Pop open our what is essentially like a Vermintide-esque loot crate. We get our loot. If you get a level, you get another loot crate immediately. So we can take a look at what items we got here. What is this? Well, I don't know what the hell that means. I don't care. What is this? But so it's reducing damage for the next 5 missions. Now that's pretty damn cool. That's new. I have not seen that before. But we have a good idea of what we kind of garnered from that. We still need to do whatever the hell this last one is. Search for manuals, what is it? Possibly an Aethon system. Oh, okay. So you have to go. It shows you the individual systems here. So I click this. Back to the Chernobyl system. It's not Chernobyl, it's like Chernobog. And back one more. The subsector as a whole. Which is kind of cool, right? You can target these different systems. So Aethon's where we're going to find our bro. Wherever we need to go. And these, you can see how these things scale up. And then I can go all the way back out to the sector. Which is then, you know, the Caligari sector, which is as far as we can go right now. I would imagine they'd probably add more and more and more to this, but you guys get a really good sense now for hopefully how this game plays. And back to the command bridge. And if you guys were on the fence about it, or you wanted to see how its development is coming, I think it's coming actually along really, really well. From what I've heard, that this build is still a little dated, like it's like a couple months behind, so they still have some more stuff to release, and that's actually on the horizon. But again, I wanted to give you guys an updated impressions of what I think about the game, give you guys a good little kind of refresher on the game as a whole, and you can expect some more coverage of this as the game kind of develops and as I play more and more and more of it. I think like yesterday I played like almost the whole entire day of it, so you can tell I'm a big fan of it. But thanks so much for watching here today, guys. We have a nice, fun week of Warhammer 40,000 lore planned for you. The Drop Site Massacre will finally have that video coming out here. That might be on Wednesday or Thursday. Then we'll have a podcast with Lore Master of Sotek. And then hopefully I can get the Angren Primarch video out here before the week's end, if not the very beginning of next week. So that should give you guys a kind of teaser of what's going on. I will be at E3 this year, so I'll be able to kind of give you guys any kind of coverage of any Games Workshop games that I do see at E3, and hopefully any kind of other cool goodies from other stuff. But thanks so much for watching here today, guys. Have a good one, and if you have any questions about this, please go ahead and leave a comment. If there's any other content you'd like for me to cover on this, please again comment. But go ahead and like, subscribe to the video, all that kind of action. It helps us out a ton. But have a good day. Thanks for watching, and have a good one.
The traitor and the heretic. We purge the world of the taint lurking among the stars. We are Inquisitors.